Good afternoon, everyone. We got a beautiful chart pulled up because we're going to get into some Bitcoin. However, I want to say thank you for tuning in to Billy Goat Tales on a Sunday afternoon. You could be anywhere. You're right here with us. We appreciate you. We'll get some more people in here. We're just getting started. Let's go and say hello to the team because today Tex-Mex Biomex is not with us, and the Red Man is at the game, the football game in Las Vegas. So we want to make sure those guys are doing well. Say hi to them. But what's going on, Jimmy Jim?
What's going on, Billy? Another nice Sunday. Looking for some nice weather in Texas this week. Highs in the mid 70s, lows in the mid 50s.
Nice.
All 7 days of that we get a year.
Where did Howard Cosell come from?
Oh, it was getting close, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it?
That's pretty good.
What's going on, Dave Digital?
Oh, just another day hanging out. Everybody that's in the chat, it's good to see you guys. If you will, take a second and share this stream out. I know you guys have X accounts. Go in your X account and share it out with your friends. Let's see if we can hit a record today. Looking at Bitcoin, man, I'm hoping it's going to save me because I'm in a trade and I didn't take profit whenever it was at its low, even though I saw it. I didn't flip over into a long. But it looks like maybe it's going to save me and reinforce some bad behavior. But we'll find out whenever we get into the Bitcoin price and charts. That's going to be Dark Crash, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's say hi to Dark Crash. How you doing, Crash?
Fantastic. Glad for another day.
Yeah, as Redman says, just grateful for another good day. Let's say hello to chat. Jimmy Jim, you want to say hi to chat?
Yeah, let's see here. All right, who was first in the chat? That looks like Mike V, the Mod King. And then Julie came in behind him. How's it going? And then we got our guy Jesse coming in third. Brooks Crypto coming in. And there's Dark Crash and the Biomex and DDT.
Good to see
who
everyone.
else we got
Good
in
to see
here?
everyone. Good to see
Curtis Hill, how's it going, man? We got the real Kate Dig. We missed you yesterday. I don't think you were in stream yesterday. Get your priorities straight.
All set.
Who else we have here? We got Andrea, and there's All Set. And who else we got here? I think that about rounds out everybody there.
Yep. Thank you guys for popping in to Billy Goat Tales. We appreciate you. We got a lot of good stories today. Good stuff in the news for crypto. But we first wanted to celebrate. We have hit over 500,000 views at Billy Goat Tales. We have over pushing 1,200 videos that we put out. If you go and look at our channel compared to some of the old channels, the amount of videos that we put out, we're right up there with them. It's just a lot of grinding, a lot of hard work. So congratulations to the Billy Goat Tales team, everybody here working hard to get our content out, and it's really, really, really working. So when we saw the 500,000 views already, we were like, wow, a million's right around the corner. We're going to have 1 million views. Probably the way we're going, hopefully next 3 or 4 months, I bet you we can hit that. So that's just awesome success. So thanks, everybody. Thank you to the audience for helping us push the content out. We appreciate you. And we do have a little game that we wanted to always start with. Dave, you want to pull that?
Oh, there's a game? Let's see.
Welcome to Who is Most Likely? Let's warm up those guesses. Who is most likely to steal the spotlight tonight? Lock your answers.
Okay, so lock your answers. Write it down. Put it in the chat.
1 is Billy, 2 is Jimmy, 3 is Crash, 4 is Dave Digital. 1 is Billy, 2 is Jimmy, 3 is Crash, 4 is Dave Digital.
Who's going to steal the spotlight today on the show? 1, 2, 3, or 4. Put it in the chat. We'll see what happens, right? We are going to roll right in. Since Redman's not here, Dave Digital's going to do the crypto bubbles. Dave, you ready for the bubbles?
Hey, was that the whole game? I thought we were playing the game.
No,
What
we're
happened?
gonna wait for. We gotta let people answer. We're gonna come back to it. Yeah, gotta let
Oh,
people
I
answer.
got you. I'm new at this game. So let's
Yeah,
do
it's
the
a brand
bubbles.
new game.
Red, you ready for the bubbles?
Yep.
Yep, I'm ready. There's the bubbles. So what we have here looks like a lot of red on the 1 hour because we got this big dump happening. Nothing really standing out. Everything about 5%. Looks like across the board on the top 100. We'll look at the daily. We got PulseX over there doing some stuff. I don't see a lot of losers or winners. So 7% at the highs, 2%. So not a lot of movement on the daily. Been slow. You got Morpho down 20%, Aster down 15%. So Hype down 12%, Zcash down 23%. I am in a long on Zcash. If you know, you know. On the monthly, let's see, Rain token. I don't know Rain token. That's Rain token. It's obviously had a huge pump, and now it only needs the huge dump to complete the head and shoulders. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that. Let me see, what else do we have on the yearly? Red usually covers the yearly pretty clear. What is this M token? Don't know if I've heard of the M token either. A lot of
Meme
stuff
core.
out there. What is it?
Meme core, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Meme core.
Red's talked about it before, different times with the bubbles.
Okay, yeah. So meme core and Zcash look like your top performers with Rain over there. I mean, not bad gains, 200%, 2000%, 400%. So pretty cool. And that's the crypto bubbles for today, Billy.
Yeah, man. Um, let's since TextMax BioMax isn't here, I will go in and share the. The fear and greed in the coin market cap. So yeah, guys, fear and greed still in the fear, down in 20 at 20, 22, excuse me, 22. And the market cap's at 3 trillion, 3.07. We just, wow, it's just crazy. Altcoin season way down to 19. So we're definitely not in altcoin season, right? Going through some of this, Dave just hit the bubbles, but Bitcoin's at 89,317. Guess where Tether's at, Dave?
Say again?
Guess where Tether's at?
Dollar?
Yeah, it's $1 again. Tether's at $1.
Wow, don't short it. Don't
Don't
short it
short
yet.
it.
I'm bullish on Tether.
Yeah. BNB under 1,000, $888. Keep your eyes on BNB.
888. That's
Not
pretty lucky,
financial
huh?
advice. Solana down to 131. Dogecoin top 9 down to 13.69 cents. Cardano 41 cents. There's Bitcoin Cash 583. I think needs a move. I mean, I'm up on the 7. I do have a. I don't know if I even told you, Dave. I am on a trade on a long swing on Bitcoin Cash. Hyperliquid, $28.65, down 13%, almost 14% for the entire week. Some of these, look at Sui. Sui's barely up on the 7 days, almost at 1%. Avalanche, this guy has kicked my butt, man. AVAX, every single
Mine
time
too.
I mess with the AVAX, I've gotten stung, man. That's just one coin I cannot mess with anymore. Dave Zcash, doing good. I wanted to go in, see here. They've switched this up a little bit, but I want to go into some of the gainers, or not gainers, but the, here we go. I'll go into Solana's ecosystem. Because Solana, so when retail's doing good, when memes are doing good, Solana's doing good. And I just wanted to see what some of the top gainers were over here. Look at that. LUNC, unbelievable. I think I still have some of this. Wasn't this what was converted? I think I still have some of this on one of my old wallets. Solana at 132.59. Moondig down to 9 cents. Link, and we got a little Link article I want to go into because Link's down 16%, $13.61. You can get Link right now for $13.61.
Wait a minute. Wait, Billy. Can you check that again? I think it links at $800.
No, Link's not at $800.
It's not? Are
No,
you sure,
I'm
Billy?
positive.
Oh man, I thought Link was at $800. Somebody told me on YouTube that Link was going to $800. I was sure that that's where it was at.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
have to talk to Army Piper and see.
it's at $13, man.
Oh,
It's blowing my mind. Uh,
well, we know what Muhammad would say.
Everything's going to zero guaranteed, right, Jesse?
Guaranteed.
So looking at what's trending, Bitcoin. What is that? Yule? I've never heard of esports. That's trending. Ethereum trending. XRP trending. DMCP trending. So top 10: Solana, Aster, Cardano, Super Fortune, and Jimmy's favorite gay AI, Gaia AI. One of the two.
That sounds, well, I'm not going to say what it sounds, but you know what I was going to say.
Yeah, something that we can't say on Billy Goatee. Yeah, we're having fun already, aren't we, guys?
Damn it, Jimmy.
Fear and greed, guys. All right, so here's the thing. You're in fear. It has worked out for me. Can't say it's going to work for you. Just tell you what I do as best as I can. But when it's in fear, man, it's been really, really good. It's been really, really good for me. So I've lost my entire screen, Dave.
I see it.
Okay, but it's gone off my monitors. I'm like, what happened? What happened?
Oh, so we're showing 22 fear, but you were just about to go into a story about that's when you buy anyway. And I think that was going to lead into your first.
Yeah, that's
first
when I
topic.
buy. I buy it anytime it's in fear. I just buy a little Bitcoin. So it works for me. It doesn't say it's going to work for all of you guys because you have a different investment objectives, different place in life. But it does work for me buying Bitcoin when it's in fear. And the deeper fear, the better. And it really has worked out really well. So
You just bought, right? When it was, what was
Yeah.
it, 12, 11, 8, something like that? You were like, well,
Yeah.
that's why I pushed the button. If this, then that. And you did it, huh?
Yeah, and so I bought it at 84,000 when it was down there at 10 or 12 or whatever the number was there. But for some people, we were talking about this off air. For some people, if you're going to need that cash and you're just trying to trade it, this is not for you. But if you're trying to just accumulate Bitcoin and you go in and buy, there's a lot of way to DCA, right? There's a lot of ways. But if you just use fear and greed and buy when it's in the fear and you're looking for the long term, next 20 years, it's really simple, easy. You don't have to think about it too much. You see it's down in fear, you buy some Bitcoin. And yeah, sure, you'll buy some. Like right now, I bought it at 84. What if it goes down to 60 this bear season, right? The next 12 months. What if it goes down? Well, some people would say, wow, you bought it at 84 and it went down to 60. Yeah, but I'm holding that for a long, long time. And I'm sure, and it's happened already when we look into the future, like back in 2021, or 2022, when you're like, hey man, it's down at 16.5, I'm buying me some Bitcoin. Look into the future, you're like, that's a good price, right? That's a good price. And I feel like 84 for me, because it's low fear, is going to be a really good price for the future. But for other people that might need the cash right now, no, that's not a good trade, right? That's more of a hodl approach. And so that's why I buy my Bitcoin. And I wish I would have done that so much earlier. Like I didn't do that all the way through. It just started doing that in the last 3 years or so. So I wish I would have, because it would have paid. It would have paid really well. But not financial advice. Everybody's different. I do want to move into one of our top stories here. Well, first I got to pull it down.
Yeah, the real K Diggity, he said that Billy doesn't sit around waiting for AK BTC. He's like, I'm just going in.
Yeah, man, those days to me, they're not going to come back. You got all different kinds of thoughts on that. This is just for myself. I don't ever see Bitcoin 8,000. I don't ever see $30,000 Bitcoin. I could be dead wrong. I don't know the future. I don't even see $40,000 Bitcoin, but it could. Like this, 2026, we might see $39,000 Bitcoin. But my thesis would say it's not going to. You talk to the guy next to me, he'd say, "Oh yeah, it absolutely could." So who knows? I gotta invest based on my thesis, and that's what I try to do. One of our top stories is, let me see. Well, it's not.
Yeah, I remember that K Diggs. I remember the AK. It's gone to AK, but everybody's right and everybody's wrong. Tino's definitely been right a lot of times. Probably right more than he is wrong. I like Tino a lot, but I do remember the AK. What you got, Billy? Oh, my eyes. You didn't even warn us.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but this whole chart is not being friendly to my screen right now. What I wanted to start with is just show how I'm just going to hit allow all there.
Yeah, the Bitcoin versus the
stock market. Like, look at this, guys. October 10th, it uncoupled. So, guys, on October 10, 10/10, you see the stock market going way up, and you see Bitcoin, the green line, coming down. Right there's 10/10. So, I'm sorry. Let me get back here. See, you guys can't see it. I can't go that far over, but it showed.
I wish we could pull it.
I can't pull it. It's for some reason, because of the way I got to display it when I have to minimize my window because I have this widescreen. I can't get over there. I could if you guys want to look at it this way. Can you see it that way? Yeah. So, anyways, let me go back. Here. See, okay. Anyways, my point about this is if you would have been in stock on 10/10, you would have went into stocks and you would have went out of crypto, including Bitcoin. You would have been way, way better off than by being in crypto. So this whole market is driven by tech and AI right now. The S&P, it's always hovering around and setting new all-time highs. And we just keep hearing that, hey, the other foot's going to drop. The other foot's going to drop. The macro chart for 2026 would say that it should be a recession or that should be a pullback, that it should soften up. Yet we still don't see any signs of that. The amount of money on the sidelines and the amount of money coming into AI, the amount of investment that is being made right now into AI and business is unprecedented. And that is liquidity. That is something that it's hard to argue with. It's hard to say, wow, with all of this, could anything happen? Absolutely, anything could absolutely happen. But I don't see it, guys. Like, I've changed, like the big macro chart says that 2026 should be the bear market for Bitcoin. And it also says that it should be a soft market. The mid-year election market is always a soft market for stocks. And it is just booming out there. So anybody that is not participating in that, you're losing on crypto and then Bitcoin, right? If you got HODL bags, it's going down. And then if you're not in the stock market, you're losing there. The opportunity cost there is killing you because the stock market just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. And of course, we have gold that is always sitting out there that everybody wishes they would have got a little more of, right? Including myself at $1,800, when really a lot of people were looking at it around $1,800 to purchase. So just a lot of opportunities. And I wanted to bring up the correlation for Bitcoin because I wanted to show you this as well. This will blow your mind. Can you guys see that, or do I gotta resize it, Dave?
Resize it, Billy.
All right, let me resize it. Hold on. I know my screen is.
That's beautiful, Billy. That's super beautiful.
Is that good now?
It's so good. Oh, Billy.
Okay. Bitcoin market shows signs of reset after price drop below 90K. Recent analysis indicates that Bitcoin has experienced a significant shift in market dynamics following a decline below the $90,000 mark. Data suggests a complete reset of sell pressure, with long-term holders ceasing aggressive sales and cooling period taking shape after a volatile period of ups and downs. Just some of the key takeaways here. The flagship digital asset profit metrics have hit 2-year lows, signaling a possible shift in market sentiment. Short-term traders react sharply to recent price movements, resulting in erratic market behavior. Indicators point toward a market cool down rather than a continued distribution by major holders. Now, I'm going to bring this up here, but I also have another story right after we go to crash to look at the Bitcoin price chart, because Coinbase International also is saying that there's a reset going on, or a shift. And they're saying that in essence, it's resetting. We've kind of went through the turbulence, and now we're getting ready to take back off. And I'll bring that story up as well. But first, let's go to dark crash and let's hit the actual Bitcoin chart and take a gander at that crash and see where we go from there.
Hello, everyone. Time for some charts on the Bitcoins. So we're looking here at the weekly to begin, and we're resting quite nicely in terms of average price on that bottom spider line there for the channel that we've been trading in for quite some time. While we have already gone down below 90,000 and brought up a lot of potential good accumulation down there, I would foresee that, as we've been talking about, we are going to continue such cool down period, reset mode as it is. And I don't think that we're completely done yet. We are due for a bit of a round and a turn up, as we are about to clip and produce a green dot VWAP coming up on the bit there to eventually cross the LOI figure as much. We are kind of overdue for that, given the size of the lumps that we've been having. We've also had the 1, 2, 3, and then we've had our own little mountains down there. So she's due for a bit of a turnaround. But the only thing that's kind of got me second guessing ourselves here is the gap between the RSI and stochastics, which we haven't had below the 50-60 line together since well back in the bear market, below my red spider line, which is more or less the bear market red zone of the last cycle, and roughly the same spider line that I think it was Dave that was referring to at about 3940K, which is where price would wick around, I think, for like the absolute dead lowest. And yeah, I'm more than happy to agree with the fact that I don't think we'll see anything lower than 30K ever again, or even in the 30Ks, quite honestly, because we have way too much of a value range here that we would have to cross over before anything else. So at about 61K is where I'd probably peg any bear market bottom, if it even came to that. Because normally, from what I've seen out of these cycles here, if I just zoom all the way back a bit to this guy right here, is we see a bit of a drop, and it doesn't really smash down below like the all-time high trading ranges. So that being said, if we kind of keep that in mind, looking forward to where we're at now, we more or less will probably ping around the 60s if we're going to crash to some sort of a bear market, which would actually come in line with our DBSI line at this point. Something I've been keeping my eyes on, as it was a very good marker for previous bear markets. That being said, let's zoom in just a little bit here, go into the daily. And right now, recently we've even produced a blood diamond, which has unironically turned itself around. But we're still seeing a bunch of red money flow going on down there, with what is turning out to be chop solidation, if that makes any sense. Volume and momentum very close together, so we're kind of excited around this spider line. Something's coiling up, bound to happen. Maybe a recoil back up to test at 104, 103, and give us that taste of 100K Bitcoin again before we ultimately cycle downwards in accordance with what I've projected in terms of the RSI and stochastics. Like I said, we're due for a green dot, so it could turn around real quick, but then it could very well just like curve right back down and start to form what could possibly be the upside down triple hump. We could very well just have our mini mountain here come to a trigger wave, or we could have the start of another similar triple upside down hump dragging us through a bear market for the great reset that we are experiencing. And that would correlate directly with the stock market news that we have as well. Whereas we're playing really high in the stock markets right now. Gold's doing amazing, and even though we might see a bit of offload of capital into things like Bitcoin here, which is why we're kind of seeing this coiling, constant retesting, and potential flip of my spider line. Even though there's lots of institutional capital grabbing right now in essentially what I'd like to call the sale zone down here, this whole in between these two spider lines has been a big sale zone I've been accumulating myself in. All that happening, I don't see too much retail interest coming about as a result. Like until we flip this DBSI on the 4-hour again, until we reconfirm on the weekly that our RSI and stochastics are going to flip the 50-60, there's a lot of skepticism from my end in terms of producing any sort of bullish market sentiment. But at the moment, just clinging to nice sale prices and expecting a lower drop anywhere in the 70K range. But I don't think like we'll spike anything lower than that if we had another dip right now, unless we're going to our true bear market, in which I would be eyeing as low as the 60s. That's kind of my thesis at the moment.
Yeah, good thesis. I don't know, man. It's the cycles time would tell us that it's we're going to go down, right? You see
Ultimately.
money flow coming down. You do see money flow has not crossed the weekly, which we all know when it does, that pretty much is indicative of the bear market starting. But we have definitely decoupled from the stock market. Definitely decoupled. Stock market going up, Bitcoin going down.
Yeah, but some would say that, wouldn't some people say that that chart is misleading due to the magnificent seven leading the charge and doing most of the work, and the rest of everybody else not? I mean, they're probably headed the same way as Bitcoin's headed.
Yeah, I mean that's always an argument that's fair. That anytime you get into the stock market and you have the Mag 7 and you pull them out, the chart shows a different approach. But you also got to think that's real. Like AI tech is carrying the weight right now. So that's like real, and that money is real. That money coming in is real. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's a fair argument. However, it's to me just another signal that kind of where we are. However, and I want to get everybody's opinion on this, but I wanted to bring up that Coinbase story because it kind of feeds into this whole Bitcoin, where we're at right now, and the stock market. And let me pull this up real quick. So Coinbase themselves, and this is it's not 3 minutes ago. Let me reshuffle this. There we go. It was a day ago. So Coinbase forecasts December Bitcoin recovery amid macro factors. Coinbase predicts Bitcoin recovery due to macroeconomic factors. Higher global liquidity and potential Fed rate cuts are key drivers. Undervalued Bitcoin and altcoin strength suggest market rotation. Now, Coinbase Institutional anticipates a potential December resurgence for Bitcoin in the broader crypto market, citing improved liquidity and a probable Federal Reserve rate cut as a crucial factor. Now, we all know this. I mean, we're in it every day. A December rebound could rejuvenate market interest, potentially increasing cryptocurrency investments amid clear economic conditions, driven partly by favorable macroeconomic policies and liquidity trends. Coinbase Institutional predicts a December recovery for Bitcoin. So it's not just some degen on the corner or some YouTuber, saying that this is what we think. This is Coinbase. A lot of smart people. And look, if anybody knew exactly what was going to happen, they would be trillionaires by now. But so it's all opinion. But they got a lot of data. They got a lot more data points. They are basically Glassnode themselves, right? They have a lot of data that they at their disposal, and they're also plugged into the current, right? Like the OTC stuff, what's going on and what's in the minds of those big, huge whale investors, and they know what's coming and what's not coming in a lot of other ways than we do, right? Because a lot of that stuff has to be discussed in advance. So, anyways, what are your thoughts about that, Jim? What's your whole thoughts about where we're at with Bitcoin, your stock market versus Bitcoin, and what Coinbase has to say?
I think it's totally possible. I mean, I have to keep going back to what I've been saying and what I believe, and that is, we're in some type of a extended, maybe the early years of a super cycle. A super cycle is going to be, measured in decades. If you kind of zoom out and look at the bottom of the previous, or you went back 2 bull runs, looked at the very bottom to the very top, well, over that 10-year period, one could argue and say Bitcoin has done nothing but go up. And I think everyone's in belief of that, right? I think with rate of diminishing returns, we could also, that can flip too, and we could see a diminished bear market, to where the bear market is just more of a sideways movement. All the institutional money is still propping everything up. And they're still coming out with new ETFs every single month, So, it's like, for me just to cash out right at the moment and say, it's over. What I've got, that's the profits I've taken, or, I have to take on top of what I've already taken. I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time digesting that pill.
Well, I agree pretty much with that analysis that anything could happen. We could be, generally speaking, I think Bitcoin's in a super cycle, right? Because to your point, 10 years ago, $1,500, and now it went to 126. Right. And generally speaking, it's just going up, and you can't really lose if you're looking at 10-year chunks, right? I agree with that. I 100% agree with all of that. If you go, and Dave, maybe you can do this live if you got Grok right there. If you go back and you ask Grok, our AI right now, what was the market cap at the top in 2021? And we did not have institutional investment. We didn't have any of these ETFs. We didn't have anything. And without looking at that answer myself, I'm going to say it was somewhere around 3 trillion, right?
3.2 trillion.
3.2 trillion.
Like that.
So look at all this money that's come in. Look at all these ETFs, and we're still below that. So all this new money propping it up, and we could never, we're not even at its high, we're below that. It makes you ponder, it makes you kind of wonder, is this going to be a diminished bear market? Or is this the bottom, or is this going to be a reset? To Coinbase's article, kind of a reset and pump. So like on our charts, the way we would look at this is basically hey, yeah, it's going to retrace down, but the bull market's not over. It's going to bounce back up. We're going to still see a new all-time high. I don't know, but I do know this. For me, when fear is that low, I'm buying me some Bitcoin, man. That, I mean, so to your point, long term is kind of where it's at for me. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Dave?
I mean, yeah, Bitcoin's. The money flow says Bitcoin's going down some more. People that I trust also say Bitcoin's going down some more. Some people don't give a crap, like the traders. They're just trading Bitcoin and they don't really give a crap if it goes up or down some more at all. You know, it just depends on who you look at. I mean, Jason thinks it's going down. Frankie thinks it's going down. The weekly money flow says that we're headed in the wrong direction. I mean, unless it does some kind of fake out, I think we're going lower. Is Coinbase no more than me? Probably. Probably a whole bunch more than me. You know, is their guest probably more educated than mine? Probably. So if they think that it's a bottom, then that's somebody that we should listen to. You know, there's other indicators that say we may be bottoming out. There's other indicators that say, hey, look, we haven't topped out yet. They may not say that we bottomed, but they're saying, hey, we haven't hit the top. So I don't know. It's back and forth. I think that we're headed a lot lower. You know, not a lot. I think that we'll hit the 70s or high 60s and we'll go sideways for a while.
So,
Well, there's
like in
definitely a trend line
go ahead, Jay.
uh, that I've been tracking that, like right now to today, we would have to be at 61,000 to catch it. Right. So, I mean, I'm not disagreeing that we could be going lower in the short term. Or, I mean, if you look at the chart, this last little, where we bottomed and then now we're ranging, could we go lower to that lower side of the range, which is, you can argue and say it's somewhere between 83 and 80. Yeah, I mean, that's possible because it's in the range that we've been ranging in since, what's the date on that? November 25th. November 25th, we hit the bottom of that range, and then,
Yeah, I was going to say, so I think we already went in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
November
we hit like
25th.
79 on some exchange.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
November 25th.
And while we might be due for such kind of a super cycle, like even if we were to get a bearish kind of setup that would thrust us into what might be a bear market, I feel like it'd be more of a knife drop situation versus a bear market bucket that we've seen in the past. So I don't think we'd see too much. Like as you guys are mentioning, there's so much energy, so much momentum in tech and interest in just the next generation of things, for lack of better words, that we're kind of in that next phase where everyone's dumping their cash and moving over into the next industry. So I don't see why we would just have either flatline like where we are right now, crawl back into the channel and hang out there for another month or two, and then go into our super cycle run and then just make 2026 look like a joke and not actually be a bear market like we're expecting. So anything's possible.
because I think, right now on the chart where I've got these, channels drawn out, I mean, we're literally, we're in between in this unknown territory. I mean, we just have not been hanging out in that. Let's see, it's been since
I don't
those
see
two
your
trend
screen. Are you
lines
sharing?
crossing.
Are you sharing with
No,
us,
you
Jimmy?
want to see?
Yeah,
Yeah,
show
we
us.
will.
You know you want. You know I want to see.
So here you go. What I'm looking at is down here, right? And if you just look at the, this line at the top and this line, and look how far back. Again, I mean, start saying the bottom trend line started in October of 23. This one goes all the way back, literally to the bear market. That is the bear market. I mean, I drew these two yellow lines
Years
because
ago.
this is where I was going to pull the trigger on my big investments. I expected the, just based on doing research of the previous three bottoms, I projected in between these yellow lines is where that's where the bottom actually hit. Bam. And I was look right through here. But here's what I'm saying is here we are. So we have this trend line too, and this is where I was referring to. If you looked at today,
60.
61-ish. But we just haven't been, living in this void at all. So that's says indecision to me. But because we're here popping and as low as I want to call it 80.5, whatever, I think we're just going to keep bouncing here until the bubble breaks. Either we're going to get some news and boom, or we're going to get some other news and pew, and it will make those sounds when it happens.
It goes pew.
I mean, just with your trend lines, if those were similar to spider lines, but they've obviously been respected, that's a break and a retest. So that's super bearish. If you're just going basically off the trend line, so you broke it, you're retesting it, and that should go to your next trend line. Yeah, that should
this
get
wedge
you
right
where
here
you're
is
saying.
uncertainty.
Yeah.
That trend line matching with this one, this
The
area
pizza wedge of
to me
uncertainty.
says uncertainty.
Yeah.
Dipping out of it, we dipped out of it back here and went back.
Yeah, but that's a full break and a retest. That's clear.
Yeah.
That's the OC retest.
But that's why when I'm drawing lines, I'm looking for like really long term, trends.
Yeah, when I'm drawing on lines,
that was the line right there. I expected, when we were doing this, I was like, this is my red alert, emergency, break glass line.
That's a good buy zone.
No, it is.
Yeah,
but
it's a
that
good buy
is
zone or a good buy zone.
I believe if you pull this back, that's going to be the price on election day too.
I think election day was 67, 65, 67. So
Yeah.
what is that?
The market here, so maybe it's this one here, 67-ish.
Yeah.
So that's red alert. You get here, we're changing history.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the factors why I don't see $35,000, $40,000, $50,000 Bitcoin anymore. But who knows, right? That's
what we need. We need the Mac Rib to come back.
It did.
Yeah.
It came back. It came back like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 3 or 4 weeks ago. In October, it came back. Or was that October or November?
I did. Why had I
Yeah,
missed that
it was
log on?
back briefly.
This must have been the Mac Rib pump right here
It must have been.
in October.
Did she get you one, Billy? Was traffic too bad?
No, I got one. I always get
Yeah?
a McRib. Yeah, I always get a McRib when it comes back. Yeah, that's how I knew it came back. I had to get my McRib. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, if I would have noticed, I think I would have got one. I would have caught myself into it.
But at any rate,
Yeah. To DDT's point, market structure before trend. Yeah. And we're talking macro things right now. Like we're not talking about like a trader's view.
Yeah, Jimmy's not talking from a TA perspective. He's talking about this is what I've been watching. This is my trend line that I set, and this is what we've been holding for a long
trends
time.
are my friends.
Here's my other
that's
trend
what I'm
line.
looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I'm not a trader. I've said it a million times. I'm an investor. I'm just looking for, key spots to get in and get out if, that's in the plans, Bitcoin, it could drop to 50. I'm still not selling it. That is just not part of my plan. I'm holding that till my son graduates college. And probably when he does that, then I'll cash out. And I'll go on a long vacation.
What if he doesn't go to college and he just hits it real big on YouTube?
Then I get the vacation 4 years earlier.
There we go. Perfect.
But, from Ethereum down in my list, it's all on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I saw $4,000 Ethereum again, in the near future, I would probably dump it all.
Well, and I just watched Kevin O'Leary do a segment on CNBC about crypto, and he basically said, and you guys can pull it up and watch it, I'm sure, but I'm going to paraphrase. He basically said, listen, there's only two cryptos you should own, Bitcoin and Ethereum. He said, that's it. He's like,
And are they?
Ethereum has captured everything. It's like he said, the rest of these, they're going to go away to the wayside. Like all these other projects, he said, it was a good experiment, but like the real Wall Street investors those are the two. Now, we're the crypto degens, right? So we've been in the market. We're deep into all kinds of utilizing the crypto space, right? Utilizing, for me, it's more of the nuts and bolts on Cardano's blockchain, right? Using the blockchain. But, he might be right. He might be right. I don't know. I don't know. I hope he's wrong. But it could be the shakeout. Because if you think
Well,
about
I
it,
mean, that's spoken like a rich guy, dude. I mean, rich people don't get rich taking crazy risk.
yeah,
And that is your two, literally, other than buying USDC, which, I mean, that's not necessarily safe. But, I mean, those are the safest plays in crypto. So, yeah, I mean, that's
yeah,
not bad advice.
yeah.
When you got hundreds of millions, I mean, if you can, a
I don't.
4 or 5% gain to the rest of the 99% of the world, that's a pretty damn good deal.
Yeah, but this whole idea of like with all of the uh, ETFs, all of the treasuries, and we can pull it up. It's on CoinMarketCap. There's a whole treasury segment. There's a top 150 companies that have Bitcoin treasuries, and then you can go in and look at ETH treasuries, and you can see all the companies that have treasuries set up. And then you have the states, and then you have the countries, and you have all this adoption and the ETFs, and we are still basically at $3 trillion market cap. So there's just in my mind a disconnect there. There's a disconnect there. Like with all that new money, how is it that we're not at 5-6 trillion market cap? And if that was the top, and we only got to, I think if we go back and look, did we even break 4 trillion? I think maybe we did once or something. I think we might have broke 4 trillion. We can look it up. I mean, anybody can go. But that is nothing for all this new billions and billions of dollars coming in. So there's something awry there to me. There's something that says, where did all the money go?
I think it went backwards, Billy. I think AI should have came out first, and then the money that funds it. And I think Bitcoin's the money that funds these autonomous transactions or crypto. That's how that's going to be done. I think it just happened backwards. I think Satoshi came out too soon. I think he jumped the gun a little bit, but I think it's going to catch back up because you could see the adoption of the AI, right? And how it's growing so fast, way faster than the Bitcoin. I just think Bitcoin maybe came out at the wrong time, and maybe it should have came out after the AI. And AI sucked up that money at first, but now it's going to reproduce all the money to go back into the Bitcoin. I think that's when our market cap starts to grow once AI starts actually transacting in crypto on a large scale.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, what? Let me see here. Let me measure it real quick. That's bottom. Can everybody agree on 15.5 as being the bottom of
Yeah,
the
good
last
enough.
bull
Yeah,
of the
good enough,
bear
yeah.
market?
Yeah.
Okay. And then all the way up.
The 126.5, basically.
Crap, I can't. I mean, just from the bottom to 110,000. That's a 702% gain.
7x.
A 7x on Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin
So
is
I
king.
mean, to 7x, I guarantee you, if you rewind the tape, go back on YouTube and listen to what everyone was saying through the bear market was, you can put your money in Bitcoin, but you're only going to 2 or 3x.
Mhm.
You need to put your money in altcoins. That's where your big gains are going to come from. I mean,
Yeah.
there's that. I mean, to me, that's where all the money went, and a lot of it's still here. They've just been slicing off the top. It's still here, and that's why I feel this thing is just not over. Because yes, I mean, what you're saying, Billy, is true.
You think all the speculators
If
are coming into Bitcoin eventually once they sell their crap bag?
I mean, does it feel poppy? Kinda. But when you push back from the table and you start really kind of trying to rationalize that, I mean, it still makes me think that, man, I don't feel like this is completely over. I mean, could we go down in the short term? Yes. Could we go back up? Yes. There's just so many catalysts out there right now that are brewing, and I just feel the fuse has not been lit yet, and I still think it's going to come. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I round trip it, you know. But the majority of the stuff I would round trip, not like I'm going to go in the negative.
Right.
I'll just be able to double my bags by the time the next time we ride around.
Well, next cycle, I will be able to say I 1,000x or 1,000%ed my Bitcoin, right? So we 700% this cycle. Next cycle, it's going to be over 1,000%. So 10x.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's in 8 years, 10x. I mean, I'll take that. I wish I could do that in everything I touch, right? I mean,
That's more than, what is that, 20% a year?
yeah, I mean, it's great. It's like,
I mean, ask any businessman
yeah,
if you can make 20% year over year off of a business. Is
yeah,
that a good business? Ain't nobody saying no,
yeah, yeah.
you know. And that's
So
that, that's any good steady business. I mean, you're doing 20% a year. I mean,
yeah,
that's you're killing it.
killing it. Yeah, most
Anything more
businesses make
is
net
you're just
net
crushing it,
7
man.
8%. Yeah, so
We got to
20%.
change the adjectives.
Yeah. Andrew, good to see you. Just got here, 2x, 56 minutes behind. No problem. Okay, well, you're not going to hear me say, hey, Andrew, for another 56 minutes then. Real quick, I want to say hi to, let's see, who do we see? Jay Violet came in. Good to see you, Jay Violet. Of course, we got, thought I saw somebody else. Mortimer Duke. Yep, Trading Places. Lee Mortimer Duke is in here. Good to see you. Band-Aid, maybe a Band-Aid. Good to see you, Band-Aid. Appreciate you. Trade Intuition. Joe, good to see you, brother. Get on that treadmill, man. I see you on that treadmill. Joe's he's not waiting to January 1st. He's on it now. He's taking the bull by the horns. Good to see you. Mike level Billy. Dave 8 Dark Cash. Oh, is my mic level low? How about now? Does that sound better?
I think I already fixed it, Billy.
Okay.
I saw it earlier, but yeah, Joe, that's when you know when somebody's serious about it. Whenever they don't wait till the first of the year.
That's right. But going back to our poll, who was number 4? Number 4 won. I think, was it Dark Crash or Dave?
It was Dave.
Dave's going to steal the show.
Yeah.
Number 4. If you don't know what we're talking about, let's play that again real quick.
LOL.
Let's see. Oh, by the way, we do want to say this to our audience too.
Go ahead, Billy. Sorry, I didn't know you were doing it.
Wishing you a very Merry Christmas from the team at Billy Goat Tales.
Can't forget about Christmas. Christmas is in our spirit. But for those of you just tuning in, earlier we had this little poll.
Welcome to Who is Most Likely? Let's warm up those guesses. Who is most likely to steal the spotlight tonight? Lock your answers.
And the vote came in, and it was Dave Digital going to steal the spotlight today. So we're going to have a fun little poll, like a live poll like that every show, hopefully. That's what we're going to do. But
Well, Billy, I think that
Yeah.
the game is that's just the intro part of the game, and then you come up with the questions after, and then you say, "Oh, who is most likely to put out the siren noise today, or the fire alarm, smoke alarm?" I would vote Jimmy.
that would be the beep to the smoke detector. That's Jimmy.
Yeah, that would be. I would. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Well, I do want to go in because Crash, I don't know how long you can be with us. I know you got stuff going on. So before,
No, I'm good. I'm good. I can
You
probably
good?
make
You
the
got
whole time
time?
unless somebody calls.
okay, all right. I did want to pull up. Let me pull this down. Close this up. Let's see. Going out of order a little bit on you, Dave. Just so you know. Don't yell at me. Let's see. Share screen. So, Chainlink price forecast. Link risks 16% decline amid mild ETF inflows. I'm going to click on this full story and see what happens here. You guys, it doesn't change for you, but it changes for me, so I'll just leave that up. Chainlink edges lower for the second consecutive day amid weakening sentiment in the broader crypto market. Chainlink's GLNK ETF extends inflows for 3 straight days, signaling institutional interest. Retail demand for Chainlink derivatives wobbles, though, with the open interest dropping to 598 million. What is going on with Link? Like Link stole the show at the beginning of this bull run with everything that they're involved in. Chainlink is exhibiting weakness, trading around $13.84 at the time of the writing, which this was on Friday. The decline marks the second consecutive day under increasing selling pressure. If bulls fail to reclaim key levels and flip them to support, a 16% decline to $12.76 would be in the cards. Chainlink ETF posts mild inflows post debut. Chainlink Spot ETF operated by Grayscale launched in the United States on Tuesday. That was just Tuesday, guys. On his first day of trading, it recorded 37 million inflows, and on Wednesday, 3.84 million on Wednesday. So here you have a launching of an ETF, and Crash, can you pull up the link chart, because we're talking about last week. And let me stop sharing this. Get Crashes on there.
And I know it's going to happen as soon as he pulls up the link chart. We're going to see that Link is exactly at $800. I knew it.
Yeah.
It's exactly where it should be.
Look at this. You got an ETF that was just launched last week. What
Yeah.
are you on, the daily, or what are you on there?
This is the weekly.
Oh,
I
my
wanted
gosh.
to start there,
Okay, go
obviously,
ahead,
because
go ahead.
it's showing incredible support.
Yeah, go ahead. Break it down, bro.
Yeah. So, in accordance with what we've had in the past, the bear market, it's done exactly what Bitcoin did, stuck just below the DBSI for a while, then it broke up, and then it had it 1, 2, 3 pump, much like our market over on Bitcoin, although a little bit lackluster, not running up to 800 like you are claiming. But it
Are
is
you
showing.
sure?
Yeah, I mean, you can see an 8 there, you can see an 8 there, you can see 800. Actually, that's 8,000. I'm wrong. See, that's 8,000.
Got you.
But anyways, we are consolidating around this value area above these price spikes for what is, for lack of better words, one of the best, if not one of the more important linking chains out there, pun intended, of course. And yeah, we're about
So
to
you're
crest.
saying that this bearish
Huh?
chart looks bullish to you?
This one actually does, surprisingly.
At
And
this
the only
point,
reason
I
is
agree with that.
we haven't had any sort of like actual downturn on the volume. It's just been more or less the 1, 2, 3 spike, and then it's all up. This is all up. There's a lot of aside from this being red, that's the only thing that's kind of got me on the downside here. All of this is just looking like it's ready to at least come up in momentum wise to the -20s, which would more or less produce if I were to say, it would probably be a bump to the top of the EMA ribbon, or at least the next little gap up there around $17, $18 is my assumption, but not 800.
Not 800. I can't believe that. I'm gonna have to
Okay,
ask
so
somebody else.
can you go to the daily?
Oh yes, of course.
So on Tuesday and Wednesday of last week, what did the price do? Is that the two
It
green
shot up.
candles?
2 green
so there'd
days,
be
Monday
right
and
here.
Tuesday.
Okay. Well, that's good to see. So a launching of an ETF, there you go for the audience. Launching of an ETF. Look what happened to price.
Mhm.
It went up, and now it's come off a little bit. But so
Now it's resting in its value area. Yeah.
But look at those
Yeah, but that
moves.
would
Hold
on the daily you've got balloon dog, so that looks like a higher price than coming.
Well, hold on. Look, can you measure the percentage? So, on that Monday, what was the price at close of Link, and then what's that percentage?
At the wick or the body?
If you're starting with the wick, do wick
Starting
to
with the
wick or
body, we
body to
should go to
body.
the body.
Yeah, whichever one.
So that's body to body.
I can't read it.
16%.
So on ETF launch, we had a 16% move.
More or less.
Yeah, more. I mean, yeah. Let's. I mean, you can measure it a couple different ways, but let's call it 15-16% move, which is that what somebody would think would be reasonable for an ETF launch?
Initially, I would say such, especially in accordance with the ribbons and the other technicals. I would have actually personally expected a run up at least to the DBSI, but we didn't even see that.
Right, and me too, Crash. It's that
Especially with this trigger wave.
Yeah, let's go back to your chart. I just wanted to.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I mean, one might argue Bitcoin ETF launched on January 10 and barely was it a green day, and then it dramatically dropped off. Matter of fact, that is the
one thing I got my eye on right here. If you're looking at my 4-hour chart, obviously we have rising prices here, or rising momentum in conjunction with this setup right here. So what I think is this little guy is about to print. Like we got ourselves a spindle that's flipping between red and green.
That's a bold
right now.
divergence for sure.
Exactly. And this guy's coiled right now. Something could happen. She could go all the way up to this next pocket right here up at like 14.4 really quickly here.
Yeah, because that's a 26% move from the bottom to the top in those 2 days, Billy. So that's a pretty significant move for Chainlink, and it's simply just retesting those highs on the daily that it just came out of. So that's also bullish.
You said 36%?
26.
26%. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is forming new structure on the daily, so it could be bullish. I mean, I know somebody that might call that a little flag.
I think right now where it's at is bullish. That's not my point. What my point is, we are using ETFs as part of the narrative to say, with all these ETFs coming online and all this adoption, then I go back to the 3 trillion market cap. It's like, goodness gracious, I agree, right? Like, there's so many ETFs coming on. There's all these countries, there's all these treasuries, there's all these institutions, these states that set up treasury. I'm like, yeah. And we even have tracked on the show like some of the ETF inflows day in and day out, right? And it's like huge dollar, just billions, right? And it's like, how are we only at 3 trillion? Something seems just
What if
not fundamentally correct there.
what if we end up really not being the ones that actually transacts with it, but our agents transact with it? What if that's the catalyst we need? What if they're taking that liquidity that you're looking for, right? We're at 3 trillion. Where did it go? Well, AI showed up. It took it all. It took every dollar that we have and all the energy too. So what if it's just we're not, you and I, or we do, but the people in general aren't the ones necessarily that's going to be adopting it. It's going to be their agents that adopt it for use. And that's when we get the big push to the 10 trillion, to the 20 trillion. You know, when that's the big adoption, when the agents start transacting with it, you know, maybe that's the catch that we're going to need.
Could be, yeah.
I mean, because you're right,
I
three
mean, if
trillion. Why are we going backwards? But I think that they took our liquidity. I mean, but rightfully so. I think they might have needed it before we can actually grow where we need to grow.
At Jimmy's point,
Billy, if you look at the Bitcoin
Yeah.
ETF,
yeah,
the 2 days before the Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin ran up about 9%.
okay,
The day of, if you look at that candle, um, it was about 15%. It ranged, and then in the following 2 days, it wiped out everything it gained. So, I mean, you look at Chainlink, and I mean, it's technically, I think, doing better than the first week of
Of
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin,
because once
yeah.
the ETF launched, Bitcoin just continually went down. Matter of fact, it went, if you say the day after the ETF, it peaked.
What was the price?
The day after,
Yeah,
it peaked at 49,000. And then in the following days, it dropped. How many candles is that? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's exactly 2 weeks. The following 2 weeks, Bitcoin price went down 21%.
yeah.
So, I mean,
I hear that.
And I think what Billy's
it's
looking
not
for is
wild
the liquidity.
numbers.
Where's it going? Right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to illustrate it for our community that, like, when you hear ETFs and you could be bullish, but you don't get huge moves. Sometimes you get them down. That's for the micro, the local strategy, the trader strategy. But then for the macro strategy, for like Jimmy's philosophy of trend lines and bigger picture, Bitcoin ETF came out, is at 49,000 bucks. And today, what is Bitcoin right now? 89,000. Your ticker up there, Dave? Typically you have your ticker up there.
I don't have it up.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin is
89.6.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think long term, Chainlink, because it had a lot of market sentiment, it had a lot of hype. The CEO was at all the Washington meetings with Trump, very much a part of the administration process for the legislation and be a part of the input onto that. And it's so cheap right now. Like, it is so cheap. I do agree with Crash and what Dave was saying. Like, it is coiling up, I think, for our audience. I mean, I do agree that it could be a great buy right now. However, all these cryptos follow Bitcoin, right? For the most part. I mean, there are some that you got news out. One crypto, as a side point, that Chainlink's a part, or Coinbase is a part of, is that the ticker's MON, MON, and I don't know if MON. It's on Coinbase.
Is it Monad?
Monad, yeah. So I got airdropped from Coinbase, so actually I use Coinbase a lot, right? So I got airdropped some Monad, and I started researching it, and this is on the degen side, right? Because I have all these degen bags, right? These coins that I just buy and throw in there and forget about them most of the time. It's just in case, right? So a lot of the AI coins I threw in there, and that's one of them. That's one of them that I threw in the degen bag. But my point with Chainlink was more about Bitcoin came out $49,000. Today it's at 89,000, and its ETF came out. What'd you say, Jimmy? January. So here we are, not quite a year later. Where is Chainlink going to be in a year from today? And this had their ETF launched last week. Any predictions? Dave's $800 prediction is.
Well, you know it's going to 800, of course. But if you look
I mean,
at
I think
Chainlink, go ahead, Jimmy.
I was just going to say, I think it depends tremendously on what Ethereum does. I mean, it's an Ethereum token, So I mean, yeah, you might see some gains, but until Ethereum really makes a
Well,
move.
it's an oracle, right? It's a lot different than just another crypto project, right? So it's positioned in a unique way compared to most other cryptos, and I do see that, like, behind the scenes, a lot of projects have to use Chainlink. I mean, it's one of the ones that it's what I liked about Dot, but it's never come to fruition. Is I almost like Chainlink's the oracle, and I almost look at it like Dot's a layer 0, right? So you don't have a lot of layer 0s out there. They're in a unique position to do things that other chains can't do. And so I look at it and think, well, that's the moat we talk about in investing, right? Right? What is the moat? What is its unique advantage that others don't have? And you break down Chainlink, and it has several moats. And you would think that it would have done a lot better. But to Dave's point, and it's why I think it decoupled, the money is in the stock market right now. It's not in a crypto. That's where the money is going. It's going to the stock. It's going to this AI tech stuff. And I say tech, blockchain is tech. I get that.
No, it's just going, like you say, it's just going in AI. The top 7 are heavily invested completely in AI. They're going all in, all in. They're bringing them out. They're putting them on the table. They're going for it. And supposedly they're investing more money than it's so big that they're just saying there's no chance that we can lose. I mean, these bets that they're making are bigger than we've ever seen anybody make ever build an infrastructure that's not going to be ready for 10, 12, 13 years. Yeah. So, I mean, they're going all in.
And who does that remind you of?
What do you mean?
A lot of these companies that have stockholders that are basically using their forward earnings to pay for the investment now. So they don't have the money. They're using debt too. Using debt, and they're trying to they're spending that money because they feel in 10 years, it's just, they can't lose. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like?
That's Michael Saylor.
But that's Michael Saylor with Bitcoin.
Yeah, but they're coming a way different angle. They're saying that what they're going to build is going to do every job that's out there and will be able to produce all the money that it needs to produce. Yeah, Michael's just saying that he's got the Bitcoin you're going to want later, so he'll sell it to you later.
Yeah. There's only 21 million of them, and it's the rarest digital asset on the planet, and so yeah. But the mindset of going all in, and a lot of these boards, they've convinced their boards, their CEOs and the boards to spend money they don't have, and that's why there's talk about the bubble, right? Is it an AI bubble? And I'm going to say it's absolutely an AI bubble. I'm just firm on that. It's absolutely an AI bubble. That's my own worthless opinion about it. The reason I feel that way, we saw the same behavior back in the 90s with the internet bubble. And even though the internet lasted and it's become everyday use, it does, and we all know that, we use it every day, the bubble still happened. The bubble still happened. The dot-com bubble still happened. So I say it's the same. We're going to use AI. It's going to be integrated. Everybody's going to use it. We're probably all going to have robots in 5 years. We're probably all going to use it for every piece of software that we're utilizing, but it doesn't disconnect itself from right now. I think we're in a bubble, man. There's so much spending going on trying to position just like it was for the dot-coms. That's exactly what was happening. It was just spending money like crazy on things that some companies just are going to lose. They're going to lose. But that doesn't mean the technology isn't going to stay around and last, because, of course, we know everybody uses the internet, and it's lasted and will last for probably forever, right? So,
And it's an ugly game, and so it'll probably be even uglier than the .com. I mean, if you think about it, whoever gets to the AGI, let's say that 1 or 5 companies get to AGI, everybody else loses. So that's whenever they're just going to effectively just go back and shut down all the competition. You know, you're right. That's where the bubble pops, is whenever somebody wins, you know, and they just take all of it. And I think that's, if we can get to AGI, and it seems like they think we can, then that's whoever gets there first wins.
yeah.
And if you were looking at Chainlink, talking about its price, and again, I don't know if it's an asset that it plans to have a lot of price. I mean, because if you think with a lot of crypto, a lot of them got their money first, way before they did anything. You know, with normal companies like Ford or Coca-Cola or anything like that, they had to start and grow and grind and build and do decades of work to get to the levels that Dogecoin got to. You know, so a lot of the cryptos, they got their money first, and now they need to kind of go do the work behind the scenes. I mean, they got paid up front, and they were way overvalued. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever they did these ICOs, these IPOs, they were way overvalued. They got all their money right now, and they didn't do anything yet for it. Like Doge is, like you say, it's worth more than Ford. It has nothing, and Ford has been grinding for so long. And so I think that they need to go do the work now. And I think Link's one of them. I think ETH's one of them. You know, I think they just need to go back and do some work, you know, earn the money that you got given at the beginning just because it was hype. And those that did the work with it, I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I agree with that, David. It's flipped backwards from traditional startups. You in crypto, you can launch a coin and tell everybody this is what it's going to do. We're going to build out, and people buy in on the hype. And
yeah, with the jankiest website you've ever seen. Like, yeah, we're going to do it. Like, you're not going to do anything. You don't even know
some of them
HTML
have,
yet.
right? I mean, Ethereum did that too. They said we're starting the Ethereum Foundation. We're starting this layer 1 blockchain, different than Bitcoin. They came out of Bitcoin, and so did Cardano, right? Cardano, Charles came out. You know, they all were part of the Bitcoin, and then Charles was part of Ethereum, right? And just had a different mindset, a different way to do it than what Vitalik was going down with that team. He was on that team. He was part of that team. So it's interesting. That idea that you could, hey man, this is going to be part of the future, and nothing was built yet, right? And there has been change that, like, I think Chainlink is one of them, that they're so integrated. A lot of their work is just silently being done as part of the software with many chains. You know, because they're moving things off chain to on chain, right? They're in a lot of segments of the blockchain space, the entire blockchain space. So I don't know.
But their price is exactly the same as it was in November 2020.
I bought Chainlink. That's one of the reasons I found it so interesting. I was able to pick up some Link around $5-6, but most of my Link I got right around this price, and it did dip, and I did get some for, I don't know, $5-7 in the bear, but I am looking at buying some more. You know, I am looking at buying some more. But what I resist is what we talked about earlier, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Like if we go back and look at these last 4 years, where should I have put my money? and Jimmy just brought it up, 7x on Bitcoin. Well, we didn't, ETH didn't 7x, DOT didn't 7x, Cardano didn't 7x, and I got Cardano at 24 cents, but it didn't 7x. So that's what I get resistance. I get like hesitation because, and then step back one level. Why should you be in crypto when we already showed you the chart? Right now, the world is invested in AI, which is in stocks, the Mag 7. So when you're looking at opportunity cost and you're thinking about, I could put it here, I could put it here, and you're looking at two sectors, and then you choose a sector, and then you within that sector, I could put it here or here. You really got to really pay attention and think through it before you just go out and jump in and spend your money. I certainly would do things a lot different, knowing what I know now for the last 4 years. In the 4 years before that, like in 17 when I came in and rolled at 18, 19, 20. 20 was a really good year because I didn't do anything really from 17 to 20, but 20 I jumped back in and started paying attention. Well, in 2020, I was like, I did well to 2021 top, right? Those are good times, right? And then I round trip, and my takeaway at 21 when it started going down in November, December, all the way for 12 months, my takeaway is I got to have more Bitcoin. And so I get more Bitcoin. And then here we are now, 4 years later, and my takeaway is still the same, man. I need more Bitcoin. It's like I've become more of a believer. So when you start to think about these opportunities, you got to be very careful, right? And think through it all because, there's a better opportunity out there. That's what we want to do is try to bring these different mindsets and opportunities to people. Let them make their own decision, of course. But I wanted to show you this. Doggone it. I did it again, didn't I? Didn't bring it down. Hold on. Let me pull that down for you. Where was it at?
Oh, Billy.
Can you guys see that? I can't pull it down for some reason now. Public company. Bitcoin. Yeah, here we go. Here's how that, Dave Digital. Okay. So, and let me refresh this. We were talking about this earlier. I forgot I had a tab open, but these are public companies with Bitcoin treasuries, all right, in the U.S. And you got Japan, you got China, you got other countries, but Bitcoin holdings by company, strategy 61.62%. These are all companies. You can go through here. Here's Spark. We know some of these. HUT, Coinbase Global, right there, 1.42. So you just all these different companies. But let me go down here. One thing nice about CoinMarketCap is you can really dive into all this information. Here are the rankings in order. 650,000 Bitcoins for $58 billion. And it comes all the way down. There's some companies that I know people that have more Bitcoin, right? Than like, see, 19 Bitcoin. So Bit Mining Limited has 19 Bitcoin. That's it. You got some people we know that have more than some of these companies that have started a Bitcoin treasury. And here are some other ones that are getting ready to start a Bitcoin treasury. They don't have any Bitcoin in it yet, but they're getting ready to start a Bitcoin treasury. So you got all these treasuries popping up. It's just interesting to me that you're getting this mass adoption and we're at 3 trillion, man. There's something that I still don't have the brain power to figure out because my gut tells me, my spidey senses tell me this thing should be 6 or 7 trillion minimum. Why isn't it? And if the answer is, well, Billy, the money is going into the stock market and AI, then and I could say, yeah, I see that. I looked at the chart. But what I don't understand is none of this money was here 4 years ago. None of it. There was no institutional investment. There was no ETFs. There was no government. Yeah, America had some seized Bitcoin, but they didn't have a strategy to put in to buy Bitcoin, or to own Bitcoin. Look at the countries that have done this. It's like, where's all that money going? Something just doesn't seem right to me. It's like, I got to figure it out. I'm going to keep talking about it on it because there's got to be something glaring that I'm not seeing, but just a common sense says this thing should be $6 or $7 trillion, man. It's like, that's all new money. That would almost be saying that everybody from before left and it's just been replaced with institutional and government investment. Now, if that's the base case, then I can say, okay, that makes sense. But we know that everybody didn't leave.
Well,
If anything, more people came in.
I wouldn't
the
say that
market
more
cap
people
hit
came in.
4.2 trillion.
Adoption wise, yeah.
That's where it topped.
Yeah.
And that was October 6th.
Yeah.
of
1 trillion
25.
above
I
2021.
mean, let's just but say that there was, well, no, it just still doesn't work that way. I was going to say if they're savvy traders, a third of them, they took their money into AI, but that doesn't answer for the institution money that should have been there still, you know?
There's just fundamentally something that nobody can explain it. I'm listening, I'm open, I'm reading, I'm jumping in, I'm trying to figure it out, but I just can't grasp it. I'd love to talk to Michael Saylor and ask him that question. It's like, you got a bigger brain than me. What is the answer to that question? Because it seems like, and if you talk valuation, because I even ran that, like, let's just say at market top, any coin, just take one coin. So your Polkadot was at $50, and now it's at $2. So valuation wise, it's really, really low, right? None of the alts ran. I get that. I fully understand that. Like at the market top, all the alts were at good price points, and now they're down. So the altcoins valuation, just alts alone, are down, Bitcoin's up, and that's true. If you look at it, I've dissected that too, but I don't. With all the new money dumping in from the treasuries and the ETFs, and minus out the valuation, it still doesn't work. The math still does not work out. It's like we're still off in that scenario about 1.8 trillion, and I'm like, man, something. I guess what I'm trying to say in my own difficult way is I feel like something is being manipulated, and I can't understand where or why, but it just doesn't seem right. And to Jimmy's point, are we going to blast off? Like I don't know. I really don't know. And that's why my strategy is buy more Bitcoin. And if we do, great. If it goes down, I don't think it's going below 60, and I'll be all right anyways. But I'd love to know the answer to that. I just need a bigger brain. What's Darren saying here? Darren's got a big brain. The ETFs and funds are neutral position.
He's got a big brain, does he?
Between ETFs and Bitcoin and ETFs Bitcoin.
Or is he just happy to see us?
ETFs. Yeah.
Well, here's a scary fact for you.
Yeah.
I just measured the top. What was that date? November 9th of 21, and measured out to December 7th of 21, and we dropped 29.59% before we ranged for almost a month, and then we started doing the down escalator, and then I fast forward the tape to the theoretical top right now to today. It's 30%. So exactly from the top last market to December 7th to our theoretical today top to December 7th. Exactly the same percentage decline.
See,
I hear you, Billy. I mean, you ain't got to say it. I hear you. Don't feel
Man,
like
that's
it.
all natural there. Come
But
on, man.
I think we were saying the same thing last bull run. Man, it don't feel like it.
I don't know. And it could be. It just, like,
But I'm with you. It doesn't add up. But I mean, you got to take in the fact we got millions of altcoins now. That's diluted down.
sure.
But if you just single out Bitcoin,
Oh, it's done well.
just single
Yeah,
out
yeah,
Bitcoin,
it's
forget
done well.
all the
Yep,
altcoins.
yep. I see
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
7x.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bitcoin by itself, no, I get it. Makes sense. Perfect sense. Understand it. Um, but you got ETH as probably the second largest ETFs out there is on ETH, and it didn't even, it barely busted its last cycle all time high, just barely, right?
I'm gonna do something fun.
What's that?
I said I'm fixing to do something really fun here. I'm gonna
All right.
go on my Google Calendar, and I'm gonna fast forward 4 years from now, December 7th, and I'm gonna make a
Dude,
note and
Dude, I'll be
say,
100 years old by then. Can you make it like 30 years so I can at least think of that I'd still be around?
no, I said 4 years.
Oh, I think you said 40. I was like, doggone, man.
The next bull run. I want to see
Oh,
4 years from now on December 7th, have we,
yeah.
go back and check. Is Bitcoin down 30%? I'm just going to make myself a note.
Yeah.
Just like I'll make those little notes for you,
And
Billy.
that's
I
specific
call you
to,
out of the blue, and I was
Yep,
like, I've got
yep.
something on my calendar that said to
Yep.
ask Billy about
yeah.
blah.
No, Jimmy's called some good stuff, man. There's documented proof of that for sure. Documented proof. But that's just really price itself, right? I'm thinking more of the market cap in general. And to your point, yeah, if you just look at Bitcoin's market cap, it's there. I see all that makes sense to me. Like the crypto market cap, which is everything, it doesn't make sense to me. And there's a lot more ETFs. There's a lot of new money that just was not here before. So how?
Well, if you take the maxi point of view, I mean, just like Jimmy explained it, everything else is trash. It's
Yeah.
Bitcoin's the only thing valuable, and that's what the market is telling us. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, there's a few of them that aren't, but most of everything else is trash.
Yeah. So hopefully all of this dialogue and conversation has got everybody thinking about it. And that's really what we're trying to do is invoke some thought. Crash, do you got anything on that whole topic before we move on?
There we go. We're working. Could you just rephrase the question?
Well, we're kind of going to segue. Been talking about Bitcoin and just the whole total market cap and everything. I didn't know if you wanted to weigh in or because we're going to move on, but I didn't want to move on without getting your opinion. You've been quiet a little bit, so.
No. I mean, it's just something that I've been eyeing. Obviously, we have the decoupling of the stock market as we started off the stream with. So just trying to keep in mind like where our market cap is and the fact that the whole you said it should be about 6 or 7 trillion if I'm correct, which I agree with you completely. The only reason we're seeing it as it is right now and the mystery that you feel is surrounding this situation is what I believe is going on is these institutions are just trying to drive up the ETF liquidity so that they can make their money to pay out their people right now. It's more or less just the cycle of things, right? They're just trying to get their cash, their payouts, and then the cycle begins again where they fill in the market, try and pump their prices and so on. So right now I feel like the market cap suppression is completely artificial.
But it does
And that
feel
there's no
artificial
superficial
to
thing.
me. It certainly does. With that, and we did bring up, the decoupling from Bitcoin, crypto, and the stock market earlier in the show. So scrub back, take a look at that. But U.S. consumer sentiment rises for the first time in 5 months. So we're hearing all this, like 2026 is going to be bad, and it's the cyclical, and it's a midterm election cyclical, and typically market. You can go back and look at all the research on that. But sentiment just popped up first time in 5 months. U.S. consumer sentiment rose for the first time in 5 months, bolstered by a more optimistic outlook for personal finance as inflation expectations improved. Because, we hear things like the consumer debt and credit card balances are increasing. We heard that this was one of the Christmas shopping calendars or years in which there was more consumer debt put on credit card, or there's a huge balance, or there's a lot more money this time around. We're hearing all this stuff, right? But here, sentiment went up first time in 5 months. The preliminary December sentiment index rose to 53.3 from 51 a month earlier, according to the University of Michigan. The survey period includes responses from November 18th to December 1st, following the end of the record-long federal government shutdown. Now, how much did the shutdown impact sentiment? I mean, just to get rid of a government shutdown and get restarted, I would feel better, especially if I'm a government employee, right? Consumers expect prices to rise at an annual rate of 4.1% over the next year, down from a month earlier, and the lowest since January, the report issued Friday showed. So you can see in graph form. Costs rising as an annual rate of 3.2 over the next 5 to 10 years. So there's your.
Now this would go in line with what I just said. Institutions, taking up that liquidity of consumer interest, and this correlates to the individual's feeling about their payouts on the ETFs and how they're talking about it with their family and whatnot. And that's what drives the sentiment at the moment, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's a lot of proposed in the big beautiful bill. If you really, we should do an episode on that, just dissect. There's so many unique things in that bill that I didn't even know about. As I started using AI to dissect it, I am not a big government or big legislation guy. I'd let the free market kind of discover things, not government. But when I read some of the stuff in there, I was kind of amazed, in a good way, actually, that because I know those things are going to be allow for more investment and allow for more liquidity, and so that's why I mean, in a good way. But anyways, what do you think about this, Jimmy? Sentiment up for first time in 5 months. You agree with that? Is it up for you? Do you feel that way?
I mean, I do feel like some things are getting ironed out, but I still think there's, just still a lot of things that need to be addressed for people to really start spending money again. I mean, still got tariffs out there. And I think it all kind of goes into play with, that's even kind of causing weirdness in the market too, right? I mean, just all of those macro things still lingering out there. I figured by now we would have zeroed out tariffs. Everybody would have come to the table, figured this out by now, almost a year. But I mean, if I rewind the tape and think back to the ending months of the last administration to now, I mean, we're not even the halfway point.
Yeah,
or a quarter of the way, through this. But do I think sentiment overall is better? I mean, I do. I mean, is it? Oh yeah, it's just all better. No. I mean, I think the direction has changed. I think we're going in a better direction, and I think the effects of that is playing into this. And that could even be playing into this whole crypto market, right? I mean, as that sentiment changes, as consumerism changes and improves, people start spending money, that can turn a market around, you know?
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's just like, I'm with you, Billy. I mean, I'm just, it's maddening, to try and rationalize anything this market, you know? I mean, I was like, man, this one's, starting similar, but I got a feeling this one's going to finish different. And I mean, you know, that's still yet to be seen. Are we finished? I don't know. Maybe not, I mean,
Well,
but I think overall people do feel, just generally speaking, things are better than, let's just say, 2 years ago. Maybe not in a pocketbook, but I'm just saying that sentiment. If you just ask people on the street, you think things are a little better off than 2 years ago. Generally speaking, the answer would be
yeah. How about you, Dave?
Eh,
Agree with the sentiment going up?
Tell me again about the sentiment that I'm agreeing with.
Do you agree with it that because they're saying it's better. So in the last 5 months, it finally went up. Consumer sentiment is better.
See, I
So
don't know. I don't. Yeah, I
positive
don't
outlook.
understand. I don't understand consumer sentiment. I don't know what they're basing it off of. I don't know. I don't understand that data, and I don't think it's real. So I don't really have an opinion. I don't have anywhere to base it off of. I think
Yeah.
that they fake
you
all
think
those
it's okay to
numbers.
spend money right now, or do you need to hang on to money?
I
That
think that it's tough. I think you have to spend. I think you're just barely trying. A lot of people are barely trying to just get by. So they're trying to buy eggs. They're trying to buy milk. They're trying to buy things that have gone up a lot. I don't think any of that's getting better. I mean, here in Texas, gas is lower, but that seems to be the only thing on the bill that's lower. Everything else seems to keep going up, and it
Eggs
doesn't
are
make
that's
sense.
lower.
pretty big. I burn a lot of
Eggs are lower,
gas.
but steak is 3 times as expensive, or 30% more expensive. So I mean, it's like they're just moving
Yeah,
the
we
egg
just
around.
bought brisket, and it was like $40 a pound at the barbecue joint.
On
Yeah,
that note, as the son of a farmer, I'd like to point out that buying from the source is probably your best bet. Just support your local farmers.
it would be nice, but that's not as available. I mean, I don't know where do I go to find my local farmer. I don't
Well,
have a
yeah,
bunch
dude.
of
I mean,
farmers
you want to go
friends.
in halvesies on a cow? We
I would
can.
be interested in that, something like that,
Go
but I
for
don't
it.
have. Then I need to go grab a deep freeze and then buy and get
You're
another
gonna
room
need
to
a
put it
big
in.
one too.
Yeah.
My brother's just started hunting. I could get you some deer.
No, you can do. There's local farms here. You can do, quarters, halves. They've
Yeah,
got all
I would be
kinds of.
interested in something like that, and probably even more so raw milk and things like that.
Bagged
I
milk.
just don't have. That's just not, easily accessible for me. I know I can go to HEB and get what I need, and that stuff over there is expensive, or it's more expensive than what I'm used to. It doesn't make sense to me how all these prices have gone so far up, even just over time, when everything has just gotten easier and cheaper to make, and all the prices just keep going up on everything. I mean, we've getting more automation, more robots, more, better at making stuff, and it just goes up and up and up and up. It never goes cheaper. But you're right, Billy. Eggs were a little bit lower. I mean, I think they're like $8 for 60 of them instead of 29 at the peak. But steak was 7.99. Now it's 13.99. So I mean, they're just moving the carrots around, or the shells with
Shell
the
game.
ball under it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think I don't know, like from a home building side, I don't feel like sentiment has been going up. It's been tough in the home building marketplace, but from and then from a crypto side, Bitcoin side, I don't feel like sentiment's going up. From just more of consumer purchaser, someone, like Dave's saying, buying groceries, buying gas, I don't see it. I don't feel like it's been just a huge improvement at all.
Gas is a huge improvement from we were at around $4 here. So to be
Really?
a little bit above $2, I think, well, in the at least recent past of my memory, it's been close to the $4 range, the high threes. So to be at 2.25, $2, that's a good relief for us. But
Yeah.
everything else is not there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't. For me, if I was on that poll, I probably would have not have agreed with that. I probably would have voted no, but I wouldn't have voted it's gotten worse either. I wouldn't have voted that. I don't think it's gotten worse at all. I just don't think it's like I don't feel better about next month than I did last month about
Right.
next month. I don't
I
feel
think
better about that. I don't feel like it's gained any traction.
I think we just resolved. It just is what it is, and we're not hyped about it or negative or really sad about it anymore. We just know that we're just gonna get beat up when we go to the grocery store. Doesn't make us happy, but we're not gonna make ourselves sad over it again. It just is what it is. I think you're right. I wouldn't have voted either way. The sentiment just is. It's not up or down. I wouldn't say.
It's the next level of retail pricing as it is. Just like when we lost our nickel candies and our dime candies over at 7-Eleven.
There you go. Do you guys know that Starlink is going to be launching an IPO? Starlink? Did you guys hear about this?
No, I did
This
not.
wasn't on the agenda. It actually just popped up on my on one of my feeds, and I thought,
On one
wow,
of his feeds, Billy got a notification from Coinbase.
we're just talking about how the stock market's taken off and crypto's decoupled from it. So Amazon climbed more than 255,000% in from 1997 IPO, 255,000%. And some people are thinking this Starlink thing is going to be another Amazon. It's one of those things people are trying to get you.
I think it could be. I don't know how he's selling it for. I actually I don't really know what retail internet goes for. I got a really cheap price and it's locked in for a long time. So I'm not sure how he's doing it, but he's getting a lot for that per month. 129, 199. And people are taking it. You see streamers all over the place in the van life or in mobile streamers or things like that. People are out at conferences, different things like that. They have Starlink. So I think that he's got a huge chance to take a big market share, and I don't think I saw it coming. I was thinking, wow, why would anybody want to get that? But it seems like they want to get it because it's easier than using their cell phone. It's more reliable. It's faster. It just seems to be worth it to them to pay the extra 100 or 200 bucks a month.
Well,
So I think he's going to gain it.
As a business, we're in so many marketplaces. Some of them are in the mountains, and some of them are in areas that just don't have the best internet. And so we have backups, Starlink backups on everything. So we were on two systems just in case, because if the local system infrastructure network it seems to be pretty weak, then we'll just add Starlink just because we want to make sure we're never out of service. So
Right.
I think other companies are doing that.
Yeah. And I think even consumers are going to lean that way. I think there's a lot of things that are moving away from the tradition. I mean, people are mad at cable companies. People are mad at the traditional internet. People do seem to trust Elon a little bit more than what they would trust, say, Comcast or whoever you used to get your internet from. And you get to take it wherever you go. So you don't really have to worry about what your address is. There's a lot of things that are less complicated about it. And, maybe that's the new way to go. I mean, people pay, you and I, Billy, probably don't really use DoorDash very often because that just is silly to us to pay, $30, $40 for a hamburger to get delivered from McDonald's. But the kids, they do it all the time. The new generation, that's no big deal to them. They would rather pay the DoorDash guy $10 to bring them something that's worth $5 than go get it themselves. So maybe it's similar with what Elon's offering with Starlink. They just like that convenience and they don't care what the price is. It's worth it to them.
Yeah. Certainly something to get on your watch list.
I
And
DoorDash all the time.
yeah, I was talking
Yeah.
to Starlink.
All
We do too, Jimmy. We do DoorDash a lot.
Jimmy's super fancy pants over there. He also does the white glove treatment at Disney.
Yeah.
I do. I'll DoorDash some McNuggets from a mile down the road.
Lazy.
He gets the entire avocado on his toast.
There you go. I know. Wow, man, our show is just blown through. I want to share this real quick. So Trump, DOJ wants Terra founder Do Kwan behind bars for 12 years, citing SBF sentence. So federal prosecutors reserve the right to pursue up to 12 years for Terra founder Do Kwan in an August plea deal. Now they're seeking that maximum. So in other words, the DOJ cut a deal with Do Kwan. Max penalty was going to be 25 years, but he cut this deal. We're going to give you 12, and now they're pushing for the 12, the full 12-year prison sentence allowed under the plea. Look, this guy put so much him and SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, put so much bad karma on the whole entire crypto space that, and I'd lost, I don't know, at least 5,000 on my Terra Luna. I held out. There's one from 21, right? I held out. Everybody was buying Terra Luna. Everybody, they got in early, and I kept holding out, and I just never liked the setup. I never. Finally, I'd made so many good profits, and from 22, I was like, I'll throw $5,000 in. I threw it in at the top, man. It was like $90, and like 2 days later, that thing crashed. I was like, oh my gosh. Like I say, if you want to make your first million in crypto, you got to lose at least 50, 100 grand, and you can make this is a cost of tuition, man. You got to lose some serious money to make any money in crypto. Kwan, a 34-year-old Korean national, found himself at the center of global financial meltdown in 2022 when two crypto companies he created, UST and Luna, rapidly became worthless, wiping out over 40 billion in value and triggering a cascading crisis in the crypto market. The resulting contagion impacted FTX and several other notable firms. Well, we're old enough now. We were part of this, right? We remember, like a lot of us remember this vividly and have some bad taste in our mouth from this. But here we are at sentencing. 12 years. What do you think, Jimmy? 12 years good enough?
I mean, that's the deal they cut, right? I mean, he shouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah. You think that's fair? Like 12 years. He's 34. So he'll be 46. Still a young man at 46. You took billions from people. And, I don't know how this works, but they say max 12 years, but after you cut a deal like that, can you still get out on good behavior? Or, even though you go under that pretense, are there rules in the prison system that, okay, you come in, it says 12, but, you serve 6 on good behavior and you get out? I don't know. But 46.
Yeah, I think every inmate has incentive to act correctly and to program out and stuff like that.
Well, unless they're a lifer.
Yeah, unless they're sentenced for life, yeah. So, but, my point would be, do you think like personally, do you think 12 years is good enough? Like, hey man, you took a lot of people's money, you're going to prison for 12 years. You do that, you've repaid your debt to society.
Well, no, but I think it should be 25. But they made a deal.
Yeah.
And to be able to, I guess, get other information, delete other people getting in trouble, he gave it up. Would I cut it in half? Probably not. Give you a 20% discount, not 50.
Because that man still got $1 billion somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, you think about it, you get away with it, now you've righted your sin. you got $1 billion, and you're gonna max 12 years, probably get out in 6, and you're still in your 40s, walked away with a lot of money.
That's still a long time, though, to protect your backside.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't want to live like that a day.
Hmm.
I like my
Not fun.
freedom.
No DoorDash in there, Jimmy.
No DoorDash there.
What do you think,
Might have
Dave?
a
12
Diddy
years
party,
long
though.
enough?
Look, I'm not a fan of our justice system. I think things are way out of whack. I think people that mess with children, those are the guys that should be doing 12, 25 life. I think financial crimes shouldn't be more than those types of crimes. So I think it's out of whack. So I'm really not the one to judge. I think that a guy that did something to a person should be the guy that gets the long time. The really hateful, violent stuff to a child or to another person, a weaker person. Those are the people that should be locked up. These guys that make some mistakes or take a financial gamble and they are just doing it with big numbers. It depends on their intention. I just don't think that it's a long time to take a smart guy out of the equation. I mean, if his intentions are always evil, maybe you take him out of the equation. But if he just screwed up, I mean, we need the smart people. We need them to be doing stuff and building stuff, and just put them in prison where they can't do anything sucks to me. Now, but if they're just a bad apple, if they're just going to keep doing the same stuff over and over again, of course, we don't want them in society. But, man, I just don't think that. The more I listen to SVF, I don't think his intentions were to screw people. I don't know Do Kwan's story as well. That was right when I was starting to pay attention. So I don't know it as well. But if he just screwed up, if he was just young and made some mistakes, I don't think he should pay for it that much like that.
Yeah, there's people's grandmas that put their life savings in it, and they're now.
Well, grandma should have known better than to risk that much. I mean, it just is what it is. We're playing this game, and we know that we can get roughed, and it's just part of it. And it's just part of it, Now, Mashinsky, he was definitely a scammer. He was trying to screw people out of everything that they could have, and he was trying to get it out of every crevice of everybody's couch, everything you could get. So that dude's a scammer. Yeah, he needs some time to think about it. His purpose was to screw people over. It was obvious. The other guys, I'm not sure. I don't know if that was their purpose or if that just ended up what happened because they screwed up. They made a bad call.
Yeah, JB Hulk Smash. Hey, welcome in, JB Hulk Smash. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in, Billy Goat Tales. Who else do we have in here? Theodore Maines. Yeah, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. It's always good to see new people coming in. Andrew is always around. We appreciate you, Andrew, too. All of our OGs. We appreciate you guys coming in to Billy Goat Tales. We always like to end our here's Chris Klein too as well. What's going on, Chris Klein? We always like to end our open the club. Is that what you're trying to do? You cut me straight off. All right, Jimmy's doing the David at Sin City Crypto finger tornado. We lost 3 viewers during that. Oh, man. That's our opening of the club, a dedication that we love to give to our brother in Sin City Crypto. Just good people over there. So we started our own version of opening the club, and Jimmy Jim has the keys to the club because I think he ran off with him from Sin City, right, Jimmy? You were the one that had the keys to the club, and you brought him over here. And now we get to open the club. So that's good stuff. But we always end with Jimmy Jim's final thoughts. And we're also going to add the Bitcoin close. So since we're already at 7, right? Dave Digital, it's 7 o'clock. Let's hit the Bitcoin close, then we'll hit with Jimmy Jim's final thoughts.
Okay, I'm already on the button. Here you go.
Where are we at, Dark Crash? What's the Bitcoin close?
So it's resting. It's found support. The strength number underneath the candle has turned from 8 in the previous week to 11, showing a bit more strength. And we have not created a green dot, unfortunately, but we are looking to. It looks like the VWAP has almost crossed over, and we're about to create that green dot. So I would keep my eyes open over the next few days, especially with market open, to kind of determine whether or not we're going to print that green dot.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Bitcoin close. Jimmy Jim, you ready for your final thoughts?
Sure.
Dave?
Cards and Legos and cards. What is a handsome man like me supposed to do?
Dang, Dave. You're killing it today, Dave. What's going on, Jimmy
Got a
Jim?
rookie on the wheels of steel here. Oh my goodness. But we had another fun. Actually, we had an extended 3-day stream this past week on Space City Breaks. We had a lot of the crypto folks roll through. A lot of the regulars, K-Dig and Jay Violet came through. Bedell, I think we got Bedell hooked. Bedell's been going a little crazy in the breaks here lately, but he's been hitting some big cards, and you ride her till she bucks you, right? But it was good stuff, and we'll be live Thursday this week at 6 p.m. Central, and then we're off for like 2 weeks. I don't think we're back till after Christmas, unfortunately. We might squeeze some shows in, but nothing in stone. I think this Thursday will be the last time we go until like December 27th, I think. But we've had a good time. I mean, putting up with K-Dig and the crew that hangs out with us in there. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, what's coming up? Anything for you got anything special coming up for Christmas?
We do have our big show right after Christmas. That's going to be what is that? I think it's January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the George R. Brown Convention Center here in Houston's massive show, like 710 plus tables, 3-day show. We're gearing up for that. But yeah, I mean, nothing really special for the streams, just because I won't have Taco for the week leading up to Christmas. But he seems to think he's going to stream a couple of nights, so we'll see.
Nice, man, nice. All right, Jimmy Jim. Well, everybody, let's first say this to you.
Wishing you a very Merry Christmas from the team at Billy Goat Tales.
'Tis the season. Hopefully everybody's getting ready for Christmas and remembering what it's all about, which is each other and everyone else besides just yourself. So make sure that you help somebody this holiday season. Make sure that you have the giver's game mentality, always trying to help other people, asking for nothing in return. That's who we are as individuals. That's who we are as a group of Billy Goat Tales. And with that, I just want to say thank you all for spending some time with us talking about crypto. We got some really cool stuff that we're working on. I also want to say congratulations to the team once again, for over 500,000 views. That just shows all the work everyone's doing, and appreciate it. Appreciate all of you in the audience. Make sure you tell everybody about what we do over here at Billy Goat Tales. And until next time, we'll see you on Tuesday on the X-Bay.
We are Billy Goat Tales.